Alright, gentlemen, this is a quick video of my completely ridiculous garage. There's my bearing risers. You see they kind of go in there nice. Now the problem with these risers was your clamping was underneath and you couldn't get to them, so you had to have them off. And obviously if you have the bars off and you go to clamp these on, if they don't line up down here for the bolts in your trees, then you can't get them back in. So you have to get a somewhat of a snug clamp, so whenever you tighten them correctly and you set it back down on the trees, it'll line up with your bolt holes. By the way, if you take your brake line and just get it out of this stupid thing, you actually got quite a bit of room. The way these things worked, what I had to do was I had to, if I can find the stupid things, maybe I should have planned my video a little better. No, I actually keep a very clean workbench, but I've just been out here busy doing a lot of stuff. This is the easy locks. Now, when the new easy locks, actually, this I've already cut this one. The threads aren't fully deep, and so what I had to do is I had to thread them on a bolt and then tap them with a die and try to cut it. But what would happen is it would crack them, break them, make them spread, and so they kept falling apart on me. Anyway, it took a little work, but I finally got a set that would be okay. And the original bolt is a 10mm, and obviously they don't make this in 10mm with a standard outside thread. So I used the closest thing to it, and that was a 3/8, which is basically 9.5mm. But the outside is 1/2 by 13. The inside is 3/8 by 16 thread. So basically this screws up into the riser until it's flush, and then when you set the riser down, you have a smaller hole you can thread it into. Now the problem with the riser is, if you look, I took the windshield off to see if I can't do this. I might have to set the camera. It's gonna fall. Oh yeah, it's gonna fall. Anyway, I'm gonna try to show you. If you, oh man, that ain't gonna show. If I sit there and I'll tell you what, I'll push on them. That ain't gonna work all that well either. Anyway, if I sit here and pull and push on these, I can see a little bit of movement in the risers. They're tight. I actually torqued them 50 foot-pounds. I didn't go any higher because of the locks and the way I have it set up. But anyway, that's my view. It raised them up almost about 2 inches, and just sitting here upright normally, I'm gonna lay my hand straight out. I mean, my wrist is sitting on it. See, I didn't need any more pullback. That right there has got a slightly bent elbow, so I did not need pullback. I just wanted to raise them up. So and you do get some pullback just because of the angle of the trees. So the higher up you go, the further back. But I didn't want any deliberate pullback. But anyway, that's those. These are called the Tomahawk series. They have a groove in the top, which kind of matches this little bit of the bike. I did pull the windshield off. The other things I put on were my crash bar, which everyone's seen the crash bar, but let me grab my clamps and everything. This is these are the clamps that I have. They're billet and they got a groove in them, kind of matches that whole Tomahawk look. I'm gonna put the bolts to the back and clamp them right about there, and then these are my pegs. But I got new pins coming. You got these pins with these are billet. If you try to bolt, you have to be real careful not to overdo them. What was the other thing I was going to show? The way this thing is set up is, if you look carefully, you'll see a groove. You'll see it starting right there, and you'll see the outside circumference right about there. This right here floats, doesn't touch anything. It actually only sits on metal from there to there. So what happens is at the top of the riser there's a small bump up. It's 7/10 wide and it's about 20 thousandths high. So the bottom of the risers on this bike, these LA chopper risers are huge. I mean they're like I said, about the size of a silver dollar. So what's happening is with that 1/2 millimeter smaller bolt, and the fact that it's sitting on top of that slightly raised, it's kind of seesawing a little bit. It's probably not a problem, but I'm paranoid. So I'm going to see if I can't fight that. And like I said, what I'm going to plan on doing is getting a very large washer, so to speak, or some kind of a shim, where I can set it on top and kind of build it up so the base of this riser sits completely on top of it. But anyway, there's my Strat. I ain't done a whole lot of other mods to it outside of I just put a new rear shoe on it myself, because I don't trust people to touch my stuff. I have a bearing lay down plate, got the fender bib. I think I got that front piece on there. That's I like this, except for the screws. It would be nice if they come up with a way to mount that without screws. My next thing is, of course, I think boards for the missus, and not really familiar. Don't really care too much for the Yamaha boards. I'm gonna look for something different. And I think after I do that, I believe I might be looking for maybe put the 21 wheel whenever my front Michelin Commander finally falls off of it. But it's actually got quite a bit of life in it. Might be next year by the time I get to the front tire. But anyway, there she sits. Need to be rode. I haven't rode it with the new bars yet, new risers rather. But anyway, if anybody has any questions, if they like these things. By the way, I picked these things up on YouTube. I picked these things up on Fleabay for $70. That's $60 plus $10 shipping, I believe it was. These things are retail right at $200. And he said it had a few scuff marks on it, but it's polished chrome. Scuff it all you want. You can polish the scratches back out, which is, you know, it had a couple of scuff marks in it. But it had one ding towards the bottom. Not bad, but it's hidden inside that little cover on this Strat. But yeah, can't see a mark on it. Everything come out of it like it real well. It just had a few scuff marks. He said it came loose in the package, is what he'd said, and it had a few marks on it. But I just, by the way, the absolute ultimate best chrome polish I think I've ever seen in my life. I got the Ultra Soft Winnow. I think it's made in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, made in Germany. You know how them Germans are. Anyway, if it'll ever focus on it, made in Germany. If you want to try a good polish, that right there is the stuff. That it absolute makes the chrome on this bike just pop. Anyway, I just gave it a quick hand polish with this mess here, and I'll give it another lap before long, and you'll anyway, there they are. Have any questions, just shoot me a message or whatnot if you like these and trying to find out how I put them on there.